anything for all kinds of translations or something else. All the work I did have to be free, and nobody is allowed to get any cent for my work now. Okay, well, in the first part we collected and we produced the most important parts from the pyramid. So it was the major work instead. Let me tell you, I lost a bet yesterday because I took a bet to my wife. I said to her, I can do it in one day. I can make the whole pyramid and I can start producing energy in one day. But as you saw, yesterday on Saturday, we had very bad weather here in Austria. Today, it's the 26th of June, 2011. We have 12 degrees centigrade outside. It's raining. For me, it's a great problem because on the end of this video, I want to show you the pyramid working outside, directly in the center of some lawn. So you can see that everything runs correct. There are no hidden wires or no batteries, no atomic power plants somewhere. But if the weather still gets bad like this, we have to change and we have to find a room in my shack here. I do know two places where we can run the machine, but this would be the worst case scenario. So I hope today in the afternoon we will get the weather to go outside with the pyramid. Well, but now in this moment we are not in the position to produce anything because now we have to assemble all the produced things we made yesterday, and I will show you how to connect it, and it will be a little bit tricky, but I can tell you something. If you followed the step in the first video, you are 99% to your private personal finish, because the assembling of the parts we produced yesterday is not the great work. So if you made it proper, you will earn the function. You will see it. Well, that's all for the first thing. Now I want to try to change the position of my camera, and then we will hurry up because today is Sunday. I have some family and I gave my son a few rights to do something with me outside of all the pyramid problematic. But I think it's very important to spread the information very fast, because now it's the right time to spread the info, and now it's the right time that everybody can build such a pyramid for himself. Well, there's one thing I have to tell you on the nearby end. I don't want to give you any guarantee that the pyramid is working in your home too. So if you plan to make 100% fixed action, please try to find somebody who can make the technology, who can reproduce it. I don't want to answer millions of mails why it didn't work in my case and what did I make fails, and it would be a little bit complicated. So my private plan would be, I think about 50 to 100 persons who will able to produce energy within the next 14 days, 3 weeks. And I hope, and this is my only donation I want to get from these people, I hope to get the small info with the positions and with maybe a few pictures from a running pyramid. And then I please all the people who produced their own running machine to help all the people who cannot do it because they made some mistakes or something else. So please understand that I am not able to help anybody to make a producing pyramid. But we have plenty of real good specialists in the internet, and we have plenty of people, they are really friendly and they will help you if they have produced their own pyramid, their own working pyramid. Well, I tried to make the video, the second part, a little bit shorter because I did the whole night the cutting and the rendering of the video, and I plan to sleep tonight a little bit, but now it's 12 o'clock. We ate a little bit and now I have to keep the solution to finish my work latest at 0.5 p.m. So let's hurry up. Okay, now we have the inside view of the pyramid. I turned it around because we have to make a few special fixings to center all the items we will build in. In this case, there are more possibilities. I use the cheapest and the fastest way. I will put some screws in all the corners, and then we need something to make a cross inside. I have a special material for this. This is a, I don't know the name in English, it's a cord, it's a textile cord, it's an original English corset cord. I like corsets, of course. And on the end we will make a special frame. We will make a special frame to show the X position, the center position of the pyramid. Okay, for this we will make a few screws here inside on the corners. It's a little bit tricky because you have to work as good as possible, because it's very important to take the center of the pyramid. Okay, if you have done this, it should look like this. What's the goal? The goal is to find the absolute center of the pyramid on the bottom base. So please notice, it's not necessary to fix it directly in the center of the metal frame. It's really necessary to fix it in the exact center of the outside gypsum plate frame. That's very important, because the gypsum plates maybe would stay a little bit out of the metal frame, and so it's necessary. You can see it here on the metal frame. It's not in the center, but on the corner of the gypsum plates it would be on the center. It's a little bit tricky, but it's not a great deal to make this. Now it's the time to speak about the real important things. The real important things for you. Where is the center inside a pyramid? Maybe you can remember the first part. I told you to keep every time the half and the half and the half, and to make some lines to find the physical center of the pyramid itself. But more important than this one factor is easy called. So we create 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here, 90 here. Of course it's not a good drawing, but I will say you the system. And if you see the pyramid now from the side, we have an angle point, and now the great problem is coming, because most people, they think that they have to go inside with the 90 degrees angle too, but that's not working. I don't know why, but I have an only explication for this. If we know that the harvested radiation will coming from downside to up, so I think it will go here and reflect in this kind of angle. So it's very important for you to know, it doesn't matter if you have more or less angle here in the pyramid. I found out the radiation, the reflection of the radiation coming from the ground, from the earth itself, will make every time a right angle to the floor and not a right angle to the surface itself. So if we know this, we don't have any problems to center our reactor inside the pyramid. Maybe you remember from the first part, we made here the special lines to find the physical center of the surface. And now we have to go from this absolutely in a parallel angle to the floor to find out the center inside the pyramid. I hope it was not too tricky for you to understand my bad English, but it's very important, because if you make a 90-degree angle, of course, here inside, you will come nearby to the floor of the pyramid, and if you place the reactor into the floor, there is no function anymore. That's the problem. What can you do to make a very easy finding? You can drill here a small hole in the parallel angle of the floor. You can drill a small hole, and you can put a little bit of welding steel inside, and you can do it on 3 sides, and you see approximately the center. The original center, where you can find the original center, is not a great problem, because we can make it when we make the run up from the pyramid. You will see if we change the position 1-2 centimeters up or down, or left or right, we get absolutely different measures. So it's very easy to center the pyramid after all the construction. But now, for the first time, it's very important to know this point and to know that you have to go parallel to the floor line and not in a 90-degree angle to the surface itself. Okay, then let's go to the last and most important secrets of my pyramid. Now we know where we have to center everything we produced, but now we have to bring the reactor in the real center. Maybe you remember we had the special construction. We need the plan for the wiring schematic. We have the reactor, the cap, the outside tube, and we have, of course, here inside, the inside copper tube with its windings and the quartz center. Well, maybe you know we have a distance here, of 29 centimeters. So you have to keep the center of this coil. The center would be at 29 or 14.5 at 14.5 centimeter. And of course you have to mark it in the reactor on the outside, the original position of the inner center. It's not a great problem, because on the downside you can look in, and we know this outside is 36 plus the cap, and we can of course keep the 36 if you centered it really. If you made a good center, you can center also the great tube with the wire. So we have one wire here up, one wire here down, and of course we have the outside wire with another tube. On the second side we have our capacitor. Sorry, I called this item condensator in the first part. Now I checked it in the internet. My English is really very bad, but you know it. The right word for this item, I told, is capacitor, of course. And we have the second piece, the plastic wheel. It's not a tube, it's a wheel. And we have the inner coil, and we have the outer coil. Maybe you remember the two end pieces of the coils we need for synchronize. I will show it when the pyramid is working, what we have to do with these small pieces of wire. We don't connect these pieces, and because of this I make some circles here. They will be every time free. These are the two connectors. Then we keep it inner coil, outer coil. So it's a little bit easier when we make the schematic diagram. And of course we have here the four endings of the wire. Here we say reactor out, reactor in. You will see why I define it in and out. And we will call this A, and we will call this B. So in the next part of the video we need this to connect it right. But you can believe me, the connecting of the coils is that easy. You cannot make any error. And on the end I will make you a special schematic diagram that you can understand everything. But now in this phase of our construction, the most important point is to know the absolute center of the inner coil. So it would be good if you control it twice. Of course you can change it after the setup.